Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take the stack of sources you've shared with us and really extract the clearest, most compelling insights. Today, we're focusing on a major new voice in dystopian fiction. We're talking about Darrell Marlin and his debut novel, Void. Ooh. Okay, let's unpack this. The reviews, they're almost unanimous on this. This is not just another book in the genre. It's a solid 4 out of 5 star standout. It's being called, thought-provoking, emotionally resonant, a really compelling look at how resilience can survive when a system is designed to crush it. So our mission for you today is to give you the key takeaways on the plot, the themes, and the writing style that really makes this book a necessary read.
To really get it, you have to start with the setting. Marlin he plunges you into this near-future society that's all about absolute suffocating control. The whole system, the government, everything. It's known simply, and I think chillingly, as the Void. What's so fascinating here is that the Void isn't, some evil CEO or a dictator you can point to.
Right, it's not a single villain.
Exactly. It's the entire infrastructure of oppression. The sources describe it as this administrative leviathan. It doesn't just manage people, it consumes their individuality.
And all of that oppressive energy gets focused right away on our protagonist, Gideon Maxwell. He's 17, so he's instantly relatable, especially for YA readers, but his fight feels, universal. It's one person's determination against a system so vast it's like fighting gravity. The reviews really hammer this home. The stakes are critical right from page 1. This isn't some slow burn.
Not at all.
Gideon is preparing for something called the appointment. And this isn't like a job interview. It's this predetermined moment that will decide his family's entire future.
Precisely. The appointment is the ultimate pressure point. It's a tool for social engineering.
So success means your family moves up.
Right. Better housing, more food, a chance at stability. But failure. Failure means you're plunged into what the sources call deeper despair.
Societal marginalization, basically.
Basically. It's control through calculated scarcity, not just, brute force.
Which is almost more terrifying, isn't it? It makes people police themselves, trying to win favor from a system that barely offers them anything.
Absolutely. And Marlin doesn't stop with the external pressure. Gideon is also battling this profound internal weight.
The promise to his sister.
Yes, a promise he made to his innocent younger sister. So that conflict, do I protect my family or do I try to survive? That's where the story goes from just genre fiction to something truly poignant.
So the system takes away his external choices, but his sister forces him to make these impossible internal ones.
And that's what gets the reader invested so deeply. He's not just a symbol. He's a brother trying to do the right thing when there are no good options. That strong character work is the foundation for what the reviews call a rich thematic tapestry.
Okay, so let's get into the themes.
Well, Marlin is using this whole setup to ask some really profound questions. Like, can hope actually exist in a world that's built to destroy it? How much you sacrifice for the people who depend on you?
The big ones, then. Control versus freedom.
Despair versus hope. And the bonds of family holding up against a society designed to fracture them.
And when you think about Gideon's age, 17, his struggles feel very relevant to today's teenagers, even without the whole dystopian thing.
How so?
Well, the pressure to perform academically, the anxiety about your future, the fear of letting your family down. Marlin just took those modern pressures and put them under the terrifying microscope of the Void.
That's a great point. And his emotional journey is so relatable because of it. He's vulnerable. He's a kid who's terrified of failing this one big test.
But he's also incredibly resilient.
And that resilience feels earned. It's not magic. It comes from necessity, from his love for his sister. That relationship is the emotional anchor for the whole story.
Okay, let's pivot a little from the what of the story to the how, the execution. We have to talk about Darrell Marlin's writing style.
Yes. The sources are full of praise for it.
They call it immersive, vivid. But the key thing seems to be the balance he strikes. The prose is described as lyrical, which suggests, a high level of craft. But at the same time, it's incredibly accessible.
That's a rare combination, especially for a debut.
Yeah.
It means the big, complex ideas he's tackling, you don't need a literature degree to get them. They're delivered in a way that just pulls you along.
And that style is essential for delivering what might be the most unique part of the world building.
I think I know where you're going with this, the sensory element.
Exactly. The Void isn't just a bureaucracy. It has this signature. It's described as a pervasive, systematic eeriness.
And the omnipresent hum.
That hum. The source material calls it a brilliant touch, and I agree, but I did wonder, doesn't that risk making the threat feel a bit too abstract?
See, that's the genius of it. The hum isn't abstract, it's psychological. It replaces the need for overt violence.
Nice.
As a reader, you internalize it, just like Gideon does. That constant low-frequency sound creates this permanent anxiety, this claustrophobia. It makes you feel like the walls are closing in. You don't need soldiers in the street when you can achieve that.
So instead of physical brutality, it's just this pervasive, systematic dread.
Exactly. And it allows the tension to be relentless without being graphic. The pacing is expert. Marlin gives you these high-stakes moments, but also room for Gideon to think, to breathe. It keeps you on edge.
Okay, so who should be reading this? Who is this for?
Well, the obvious answer is fans of character-driven YA dystopian fiction.
If you liked Suzanne Collins' Veronica Roth, where the protagonist's inner life is just as important as the action.
Absolutely. You will be hooked.
Yeah.
But I think the book casts a much, much wider net.
Wider than just YA.
Oh, definitely. The core themes, autonomy, societal control, it puts the book right in conversation with some of the foundational adult classics of the genre.
That's a huge claim for a debut. Let's justify that. What specifically connects Void to something like Orwell's 1984 or Huxley's Brave New World?
You can draw a few clear lines. The systemic control of the void, the way it uses a faceless process to decide your fate, that really echoes the conditioning in the caste system in Brave New World. The system is engineered for stability, even if it kills individual happiness.
Okay, I see that. What about 1984?
That's where the psychological part comes in. The pressure on Gideon to maintain his own internal truth, his loyalty, while under this constant unseen pressure. That's the terror of 1984. That omnipresent hum is Marlin's version of the telescreen. It isn't watching you, it's just eroding your peace until you comply.
That comparison really clarifies it. So this isn't just a YA thriller. It's for anyone looking for a deeper philosophical look at the human condition.
It manages to have the high-stakes feel of YA with the intellectual depth of a classic. It's a very fine line to walk.
So what does this all mean? The final verdict seems pretty definitive. Void is a powerful, compelling debut about resilience in a world built for hopelessness. With its strong themes, Gideon's character, and Marlin's eloquent style. It's really positioned to leave, as one review put it, an indelible mark on you, the reader. So if you're drawn to stories that challenge the status quo, that stir up real emotion, and you prefer psychological tension over just spectacle, this book deserves your immediate attention.
And that idea that systematic eeriness is probably the final thought to leave you with. But the novel, as we said, avoids a lot of overt violence. Instead, it builds tension through that omnipresent system, the void, and its hum. And that raises a really important question for us today. How often is control exerted in our own world? Not through force, but through a similar pervasive systemic eeriness. That constant hum of digital or economic pressure that quietly mirrors our own anxieties until we just give in.